Howdy. Some time ago I had this advertisement. It's an advertisement. Your guide to the crisis winter. We have firewood, tomatoes, laptops, tablets, and cell phones. I think they're representing all the three. And this might be a coal energy plant. And a chopper, which is not a rescue chopper. Or is it chopper? Yeah, maybe. Helicopter. And I've been talking about the surface conductivity anomaly in Scandinavia and the Kursk magnetic anomaly, how they are in a way connected. You can find other pictures of the magnetic anomaly. And it still didn't happen. It's still not cold. It was like warm, so to say. Today it's a little bit more frosty, a few degrees. But it's too warm. And I've been saying that, yeah, I expect that it might happen in February or something when it gets cold. And since those few years I live here in eastern Finland, I have noticed already that the seasons are in a way late. The summer starts later, the fall starts later, the winter starts later. This year it didn't even start really. And I've been watching windy, and somehow sometimes it seems that there could be some pressure system building up, which is, I think, related to the things in the ground, positively charged, you know. They would attract high pressure systems. And just before, I found this, or it found me. I wasn't searching for that. An event high above the Arctic may turn winter sharply colder in US and Europe. A complex and highly consequential weather phenomena is slated to take place next week as air temperatures about 100,000 feet above the surface skyrocket and swirling winds around the Arctic slow or even reverse direction. Why it matters? Known as a sudden stratospheric warming event, SSW, this can disrupt the polar vortex and displace frigid air masses into Europe and the eastern US. The big picture. The main computer models forecasters rely on to help predict the weather are in near lockstep agreement that a sudden stratospheric warming event will occur beginning next week. This one may be especially strong too. The SSW looks quite certain at this point, Amy Butler, a NOAA meteorologist, told Axios via email. How it works, such events can occur when large atmospheric waves surge beyond the troposphere and into the stratosphere above it. The vertical transport of energy can rapidly warm the stratosphere and set in motion a disruption of the stratospheric polar vortex, which is a circle of strong winds surrounding an area of low pressure above the pole. Yeah, weather is electric. So we have energy going always both ways. High pressure systems spin in the same direction always as do low pressure systems because it's about the polarity, plus or minus. Over time, sudden stratospheric warming events are known to influence the troposphere below, which can affect the weather in the US and Europe. Typically, a week to several weeks later, their effects may persist for more than a month. Now, I think by this time, some of the water and other stuff, the Tonga eruption blew very, very high up into our atmosphere. Might reach the North Pole as well. So this also could have an influence on this whole thing. Maybe also the sun, since it seems, or not, it doesn't seem, but it's ramping up once again. Off note. Off note? Yeah, maybe off note. In the recent past, sudden stratospheric warming events have led to major cold snaps in Europe, including the Beast from the East pattern that drove frigid air from Siberia westward into the United Kingdom in 2018. They have also led to prolific snows in the northeast US, though experts tell Axios that connection is a bit more tenuous. Still, these events offer some hope to snow lovers in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, two regions that have seen little frozen precipitation so far this winter. Yes, it's not over yet. Zoom in. Judah Cohen, director of seasonal forecasting at AER in Massachusetts, said the jury is still out on exactly how the disruption of the stratospheric warming event will affect the weather in the US and Western Europe in late February into March. How and whether this translates to exciting weather is still challenging in my opinion, he said via email. Simon Lee, a weather researcher at Columbia University who studies the polar vortex, said much depends on the extent and speed at which the changes in the stratosphere, including the slacked polar vortex, affect the troposphere below. Already computer models are signaling the likelihood of air pressure patterns over Greenland and the North Atlantic shifting into positions that favor cold and snow in Europe, and can do the same for the eastern seaboard from Washington to Boston. What they're saying, Butler said the polar vortex disruption is only one of many factors that will influence winter weather during the next few weeks. I think it is also important to recognize that the stratosphere is not acting in insulation on the weather, but as one part of many other things going on, including the current La Nina. These factors, yeah, now I have to stop. The chickens start to yell. You can read the rest of it. Thanks. Bye.